Yo, what's up? We are live. We are live too. I got some number mysteries I'm going to share with everybody right now. I mean, and I got a timeline that I want to show you guys. It's the exact timeline, and you're going to be able to look it up on the internet. I figured this out before I figured out it was on the internet. And then when I was looking up dates, I'm like, oh, they're going by the exact same thing that I figured out. Welcome to the room. We're going to get started in a couple minutes. Welcome to the room. What's up, guys? Hey. Give me a couple minutes. A few people get in here. I got some amazing things to share with you guys. Amazing timelines. Things that Christianity won't touch because they are so out of it. And I'm not speaking about all of you guys. And if you go to the local church, I don't care. I'm just speaking in general for myself as far as what I could see. Obviously, if you're here, you're not complete. You're not the ones that I'm thinking about, okay? So don't take anything the wrong way, all right? Hi, everybody. Welcome to the room. What do we got there? I'm trying to look at those. 726. Right. Japan's typhoon number 22. So 41469 equals 1656,726. What do you mean? Because I know 1656 is the year of Noah's flood, and 726 is a harpazo. But what do you mean? What's 41469? Please explain that, because that looks very interesting. That looks very interesting, because those are very interesting numbers. Please explain. Hey, what's up? The end times are here. Always posting just great verses. Man, I got that Proverbs 7:19 and 20 from you, man, about the full moon. Boom! That was just like nail right on the dot. Right, I'm not talking about anybody here. Yep, still October 5th for me too. I'm in America. I'm in the middle of America. Yeah, thank you. The end times here. Awesome verses. Great verses. Japan's typhoon number 22, how long occurs? But what do you mean though? I get the numbers 1656 and 726. Yep, that's right, Ben Sherman. 2025 is where everything adds up to. It's all about this year. It's all about to go down, man. You're 100% right about that. I'm gonna get started here and sharing. We got 50 people. Awesome. Much love. Romans 10:9. That's right. We should be leaving in a day or two. I sure think so. I really do think so. I have to believe that with after everything that I've seen. Some people believe that next month, the next moon is the Feast of Trumpets, but I don't see that. I see it as now. Can I be 100%? Well, no, but I just so many things that I see right now. The numbers and the patterns. Okay, so I want to show you guys some things. Here we go. We're going to get started. Here we go. So, first thing is that God, I'm not going to do anything with my hands either. If I do, it's on accident, okay? I get all that. The hand signs, how they talk. I'm not doing nothing of that. The first thing that God did in the Bible is he gave us a 6,000 year period, okay? He said 6 days and 6 days of creation, and there's 24 hours a day. The seventh day he would rest. So right there, we know from 2 Peter that a day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as a day. So you see the 6 days, 6,000 years, right? And then the 24 hours a day, 6 times 24 is 144. We know that number, 144. Now look at, like Ben Sherman said right now in the comments, Everything points to 2025, not 26, not any other year. It's this year everything goes down. Look at the number. Everything take to a clock. The clock is prophetic. Everything is about time. So 6 days times 24 hours a day is 144. Take 144 to a clock. The one is 5 minutes, the 4 is 20 minutes, and the other 4 is 20 minutes also. You have 45 minutes. 45 is the square root of 2025, meaning that 45 times 45 is 2025. And then when you go to 45 on a clock, the 4 is 20 minutes and the 5 is 25 minutes. So 45 is 2025 all the way around. So 144 represents 2025 and the 6 days of creation, right? And the 6,000 years. We all get that? And time equals 144 in Hebrew gematria. Hebrew gematria, time equals 144. That means in the English language, there's something called Hebrew gematria. It's not in the Hebrew language. It's in the English language. It's called Hebrew gematria. And you type in time and it equals 144. So time, 144 represents time. It represents 45 on the clock, which is 2025. And if you add it up, 1 plus 4 plus 4, it's 9. What is the 9 on a clock? Again, back to the number 45. Now watch this. If you take the 6 days and 24 hours a day and you rearrange the numbers, 642, so you take these three numbers and you go 642, because you're working with these three numbers, and then add it to its reflection, 246, you get the number 888. What is 888? Donald J. Trump equals 888 in English gematria. Project Bluebeam equals 888 in English gematria. Rapture Escape means equals 888 English gematria. Rapture Year equals 888 in English gematria. 13. How long is our rapture delay right now? It's going to be 13 days, right? From the Gregorian to the Julian calendar is a 13-day difference. 13 actually equals, I think it was 999, right? So all those things are 888, and that's what the three numbers, 642, which is 6 days of creation, 24 hours a day. You scramble the numbers. Now watch this. Look at this. You take those three numbers, 624, for 6 days and 24 hours a day, and you scramble them like this. 462 plus its reflection, 264, you get 726 Harpazo. Look at that. 726. Get it? 6 hours, 6 days. Creation, 24 hours a day. You just put them in this order, add it to its reflection, 726 Harpazo. 888, 726, 144. Then you take this stuff to a clock, right? 888 on a clock is 120. 120 Jubilee. Look, the 8 is 40 minutes. Another 8 is 40 minutes. Another 8 is 40 minutes. 40 times 3, 120. Genesis 6:3. God said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for his years shall be 120 years. That's Jubilees. Genesis 6:3, talking about 120 Jubilees. A Jubilee is 50 years. 120 times 50 is 6,000. And that's what 888 is. 888. 40, 40, 40. 120 Jubilees. All this. Everything is pointing. This is it, okay? And then you have 726. 7 plus 2 plus 6 is 15. 15. If you count 15 up, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15, you come to 120. So the number 726 is also pointing to 120 Jubilees because it equals 15. Remember this key. Whatever a number adds up to, that's what's going to be on a clock. So for instance, you have 9 here. 1, 4, and 4. Okay, so it adds up to 9. That's always going to be a 45. Like 153 fish, 153 adds up to 9. That's always going to be 45 on the clock. Square root of 2025. 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6, Or 9 times 24, 216 adds up to 9. So it's always going to be 45 on a clock, any way you add it. Like, for instance, 2 is 10 minutes, the 1 is 5 minutes, and the 6 is 30 minutes. 45 minutes. Or you can just add it up. 2 plus 1 plus 6 is 9, and the 9 is 45 minutes again. All of it points to 2025. Every 45 points to 2025. Now let me show you. Let me show you the true timeline. This is the true timeline. I'm gonna show you exactly where you're at. And I found this out even before I started looking up things on the internet. Watch. I'll just prove it. Look. So when you look up a couple things, when you look up the year of Noah's flood on the internet, we'll put it right here, you get 1,656 years past creation. Okay? So this is like when God created everything in 6 days, the very first year, and it'll show you 1,656 years past. Then you look up Adam, and it'll tell you 930 years past creation. So you got Adam, 930 years past creation when Adam died. Okay, and it's all starting from day one. And they're figuring it, even on the internet, they figure the very first year of creation is this year. Look at 4004 BC. That's where the internet even starts at every time you look this stuff up. So from 4004 BC, you have Noah's flood 1,656 years later. And from 4004 BC, you have Adam's death, 930 years. Now, what I've shown you guys before that is so mind-boggling is that the time between Adam's death and Noah's flood is exactly, do it yourself, man. Look at it. 726 years. And some of you might not know what that number is. 726 is the number for rapture. But in the Strong's Concordance Greek, it's harpazo. Harpazo, number 726. This is the word used in 1 Thessalonians 4. When we're caught up to meet Jesus in the air, the word used in the Greek is harpazo, number 726. Also in Revelation chapter 12, when the man-child is caught up in the air, caught up because the dragon is ready to get us, 726 harpazo, snatched away. And that's the exact amount of years from Adam's death to Noah's flood. This thing was planned out from the beginning. But the crazier thing, see, this is how I know the rapture is this year. We're trying to get it on a date, and we'll get there eventually. I think it's going to be Feast of Trumpets in a couple days or a day or two. But that's secondary. We know it's this year. Why else? Well, how do we know that this 726 is pointing to 2025? Because, let me erase this part. This is the clincher. Because Adam in the Hebrew language, Adam equals, guess what? Oh my goodness, 45. Adam equals 45 in Hebrew, which is the square root for 2025. And from his death to Noah's flood is 726 years. You can't tell me that the rapture ain't this year. I already know it is this year. I already know it is. Look it. In Hebrew, Adam's name is Aleph, a Dalet, and a Mem. Now, interestingly, the Mem is the 13th letter, which is flood. It means water and chaos. And we're waiting 13 days from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar, right? So in Hebrew, the Aleph is a 1. The Dalet means door, and it's 4. And the mem is 40, like exactly 40 jubilees from Jesus, right? Add it up. 1, 4, and 40 equals what? 45, pointing to this year with Adam's. Why? Now, why? Why? Because God always has, in the Bible, declared the end from the beginning. Isaiah 46:10. The day that Adam was created was the Feast of Trumpets, and that's the first day of the month of Tishri. The Feast of Trumpets in the next day or two is the first day of the 7th month called Tishri. And Tishri means beginning. And God declares the end from the beginning. So wouldn't it make all the sense in the world to end it where he began it, with man? Yes. His name even equals 45. Now look at this. If you put 1, 4, and 40 together, do you know what that is? 1440 is the exact amount of minutes in one 24-hour day. I told you, all this is on the clock. You take 45 to a clock, it's 2025, dude. The 4 is at 20 minutes. The 5 is 25 minutes. 45 is 2025. Every number that adds up to 9 is a 45. Dude, it's all. Now here's the thing. Does God end this? Very possibly on the day that he started it with man, which is Tishri 1, which is the Feast of Trumpets, which is tomorrow night and the next night. Is that what we're going to see? Is that what this 726 is about? Very possible. Or is there something else? Well, we know this is connected to Adam's flood. And it's connected, the 726 is connected to Adam's death. Right? Now here, and even the last letter in Adam's name, the mem, is water and chaos. Well, look at this connection between Adam and Noah. And 726 are positive, water and chaos. The flood in Revelation 12, which there is going to be some regular flooding, but it's a flood of, everything else. And the rapture. It's simultaneous, bro. It's simultaneous. Look at Revelation 12, okay? So the man-child goes up and the dragon is cast down. So does it have to do with Adam's death? The day that he dies is the day that it happens. Well, here's the interesting thing. Could it be that Adam, because we're not told this. We're not told what day Adam fell. But what is the first day of fall? It's the Feast of Trumpets. The first day of fall is the Feast of Trumpets. Does that mean that Adam, on the day that he was created, that was the day that he fell? Wouldn't that be amazing? Because God declares the end, his fall, from the beginning. So he did it. He fell on the same day he was created. Is that when he fell? Man, that makes dollar bills to me. That don't make sense. And when you look at the regular seasons, the first day of fall is the Feast of Trumpets. Or is it, now again, we have to think outside the box. Or is it when Noah's flood began? Because Noah's flood began on Cheshvan 17, which when the Feast of Trumpets hits tomorrow night, we're going to be in the first day of Tishri, and there's going to be about 28 to 30 days on the moon cycle. And then the next month after that, which would begin in November, would be Cheshvan. Okay, so Cheshvan 17 would be on the November calendar that we use, would be sometime in November. Now, here's another interesting factor to this. I'm not saying I think that. I don't know. Here's another interesting factor. Do you know that September is actually the 7th month? That's right. So the 7th month is actually September. The 8th month is October. And the true 9th month, before they changed it, is November. So could we be looking at November? I don't think so. I think that it's this month. I think that it's the day that Adam was created. It's very possibly 30 years later, the day that he ate the fruit. That would make sense, right? Because God declares the end from the beginning. Okay. But either way, with this pattern alone, we know it's this year. We know it's this year. Now look, let me go over another thing with you guys, okay, about the timeline, because you need to know this, all right? Everybody, most people right now are teaching a wrong timeline, okay? They're telling you it was 32 AD that Christ was crucified and that the end is 2032. And I'm going to show you that even by this, that's impossible, okay? So when you look everything up, Noah's flood, the year that Adam fell, died, and all these things, they always start you off at 4004 BCE, okay? So in the biblical calendar, that would be year one. And then it just goes forward, okay? That's how the biblical calendar works. There is no zero. There is no BCE on the biblical calendar. It just goes forward. So let me show you, let me prove to you that 2030 is the end, okay? It's very simple to see. It's just mathematics. When you start from 4004 BCE, the correct place, then it's all over with anyways. That's all. There's nothing nobody can do about it. They just don't know how to add. They don't know how to subtract, or they're lying to you, plain and simple. Because look, if you start at 4004 BCE, okay? And I say E because it's not BC. BC, people say, well, how could it be before Christ? It's not. It's actually BCE, which means before Common Era, okay? When you start from 4004 BCE and you go to, actually, so here's the thing. Okay, let me explain this. So if you start from 4004 BC, that is not where Adam fell. Okay, Adam fell. Something happened here with Adam 30 years later. But anyways, we'll talk about that in a second. 4004 BC, just add on 6,000 years. Okay, and you're going to come to around 1996 or 97. Okay? That's just math. I'm just showing you pure math. Because just think of it this way. If you started from 4000 BC and you went 6,000 years forward, you come to 2000. The year 2000, that 25 years ago. But we're starting from 4004 BC. You tack on 6,000 years, you come to 1996 about. That's just pure math. Okay? Now here's the thing. Adam fell 30 years in. He fell in the year 3974. And then something happened for 3.5 years. I don't know if it was that he was in the garden for that long and then he got kicked out. I think that's what happened. We're not told. We're not given a timeline. But when you start the calendar from 39 to 6,000 years, because see, look, you start for the 6,000 years from when Adam fell. It says God's spirit will not always strive with man, contend with man. When God created man, his spirit wasn't striving with him until he fell. That would have been 30 years in. So you start from 3974 and you go forward or right around there, right? And you come to 2025, 26. 2025, 26. And then something happened for 3.5 years. Start from 3970 and you come to I believe it's 2030, okay? I should have prepared this a little better. But that's what happened. That's where the 6,000 years begins. It doesn't begin in 4004 BCE. Okay? Because if you tack on 6,000 years, you come to 1996. Then you have to tack on 33 more years and some change, which you come to 2029, 2030. Christ returns in 2029. Okay? He returns in 2029. He sets up the kingdom by 2030. That's why they call it Agenda 2030. See, they don't believe that Jesus Christ is coming back. They believe that they got their own agenda, but God has another agenda. So that's just a quick thing. I should have laid it out better in my mind before I showed you that. Okay. And also, when you look, now I'm not a fan, of course, of the Talmud. Okay, there's a lot of bad things in there. But if you look in the Jewish Talmud, which there's a lot of bad things in there, but if you look in it, they even said that everything changed in 30 AD. Here, let me show you another pattern. It came to me right now. So if you just Google, when did Herod begin to rebuild the Jewish temple? It's 20 BCE. You can look these things up. It's common knowledge, okay? It's not like I have some secret knowledge. It's on the internet. Okay, he began rebuilding their temple in 20 BCE. We'll say this is 0, right? There's no real 0, but it's for a marker. So then, when Jesus ran into the Jews, the Pharisees and stuff, they said it took us 46 years. 46 years to build this temple. It took them 46 years. All you got to do is do the math. 20 BC, 46 years, takes you to 26 AD. That's when Jesus began his ministry, 26 AD. And we know his ministry is 3.5 years. So he was crucified in 30 AD. Not 32. Just do this. All these guys are wrong talking about a 32 AD. Look up, when did Herod begin to rebuild the temple? It's common knowledge. They'll tell you 19 or 20 BCE. It's 20. He started in 20 BCE. Then the Jews said in the book of John, it took us 46 years to build this temple. Go 46 years from 20 BCE, you land straight on 26 AD when Jesus started his ministry. Everybody knows he went for like 3.5 years. You come straight to 30 AD for the crucifixion, not 32 AD. That's a lie. There's only 42 months of Great Tribulation left. That's it. 2029 wraps it up, 2030. Okay? And then Jesus said, and here's even another confirmation. Jesus said, he said, build this temple up he said, tear this temple down and I'll raise it up in 3 days. And then he said, but I'm speaking of my body. But they didn't know he was speaking of his body. Well, to even prove this, right? The word, Jesus said his body is the temple. The word body, look this up. It equals 46 in simple gematria. Even look at this. Look at, why would it equal 40? Because they said it took us 46 years. He said my body is the temple, and the word body equals 46, which is 20 BC to 26 AD. Can you see it? Exactly 2,000 years later, 2026. 2026. You see what God did here? You see what he did? Herod began that temple, rebuilding it at 20 BCE. The Jews said it took us 46 years, takes you to 26 AD. Exactly 2,000 years from 26 AD is 2026, when the last 3.5 years begins. 2026. You see that? And the word body equals 46. And do you know that the human body has, and here we go with the Feast of Trumpets again, 23 X chromosomes and 23 Y chromosomes. 23 is 46. And when is the first verse about the Feast of Trumpets said about? Leviticus chapter 23, verse 23 and 24. I think this is it. I think we're here. Can you believe that? That the body has 23 X and 23 Y chromosomes. And body equals 46 even. And the Feast of Trumpets is first mentioned in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 23 and 24. And when was man created? All this having to do with DNA. He was created on the Feast of Trumpets. The true new moon, which is in like a day. The full moon is the new moon, right? The modern people who call themselves Jews do everything backwards. Everything. Everything is backwards for them. So when the moon doesn't exist in the sky, they say it's the new moon. But how do I, just thinking on a logical basis, going back to the beginning, when God created the brand new moon, get it? The new moon? He created a full moon. Right? You get it? You see what I'm saying? God did not create a sliver of a moon when he first created it. He created a brand new moon. So the new moon would have been created in full. A full moon. And that's Psalm 81, verse 3. And the King James is a little bit hard to see it, but it's there. It says, blow the trumpet at the new moon, comma, in all the other Bibles it says at the full moon. But in the King James it says at the appointed time. But that word appointed is number 3677 in the Strong's Concordance. It's kasa, and it means full moon. So the King James didn't get it wrong. You just got to look up that word appointed in Psalm 81 verse 3, and you'll see that kasa actually means full moon. The new moon is the full moon. That's when the months begin. Now, here's the thing. Some people believe that the Feast of Trumpets actually begins next month on that new moon. I'm not with that. I don't think so. I think it's this month. Excuse me. But could I be wrong? I could be wrong. But I do believe that the rapture is going to be on the new moon, which is the full moon. Because look, new moon equals 99 in simple gematria. You know what else equals 99? Rapture equals 99 in simple gematria. And look, there's only one feast day. Only one. Not two, not three, not anymore. There's only one feast day that is always, every year, on the new moon, which is the full moon now, we know. Do you know what feast day that is? That's the Feast of Trumpets. It's not any other day. It's not any other festival but the Feast of Trumpets. And Feast of Trumpets is actually, some believe that, well, actually, see, so it gets interesting. So the modern Jews do everything backwards, right? But some things do make sense. Like they say that the Feast of Trumpets, which is true, was actually the first month, but then it became the seventh month when God gave his days to Israel. Could this be true? Well, it makes sense because the 6 days of creation, on the sixth day, Adam was created, which was the Feast of Trumpets, right? And that lines up even with the scriptures when you look into it, because the first mention of the Feast of Trumpets is in chapter 23, verse 23, and that's how many chromosomes a person has. So it makes sense for the Feast of Trumpets to be the creation of man, Adam, that day. So the 5 days before that are actually the 5 creation days. Then on the Feast of Trumpets, it's the day that Adam was created. That all makes sense. It all lines up, right? But so initially, that is believed to be the first month, Tishri, the Feast of Trumpets, Tishri. And that makes sense too, because the word Tishri means beginning and creation. But now it's actually, well, now the Jews say it's the first month too, or the modern Jews or whoever they are. But it's also looked at from the calendar that God gave Israel. It's also looked at as the seventh month. But to me, that even makes a lot of sense, right? Because what the numbers represent. So if Tishri was the very first month in the beginning, it means beginning. And that was the seventh month when God gave his calendar to Israel. Well, seven means divine completion. So the number one, it being the first month, and the number seven, meaning divine completion, it seems like there could be some type of connection there, right? Because God created everything complete in those 6 days. And on the sixth day, the Feast of Trumpets, it was finished because man was created on that day and he was done. So that would be the first month. And then now it's the seventh month, which kind of looks like it's associated with that because seven means divine completion. So everything was done, completed on the day of creation of man. So anyway, there's a lot of facets to all this stuff. But from what I've shown you, you already know there ain't no doubt about it. It is this year. And I've been saying it was this year, but then past few months I've been getting down to trying to by really seeing the day. Because that's where I've been led. I knew I was going to take a risk because there's people out there that can't wait to chop your head off. And they do it with no love. And even if they were doing it, they need to understand that we're all learning. And that we all know in part, we all prophesy in part, but because that's where we are right now. But we know, look, you know it's this year, okay? Look at all the raptures in the Bible. Enoch, his name equals 45. He was raptured. Elijah equals 45. He was raptured. How in the world is that possible? Daniel equals 45. He was all about the Antichrist and Jacob's trouble. The word elect equals 45. And this is all in simple gematria. The word elect equals 45. Adam equals 45 in Hebrew. How can this all be just mean nothing? You know, people who are criticizing and throwing me in that pot, they need to take a step back because the rapture is going to be this year, whether it's on the Feast of Trumpets or it's on Cheshvan 17 or some other day, which I believe it's at Trumpets. Either way, it's going to happen this year, and everything the harshly that you say against me and other people out there is going to be looked at. It's going to be judged. You might not even have the spirit. You might just be all flesh. You might just be not even going in the rapture. Maybe. I don't know. But if you do go in the rapture and you go up there as a backbiter, you go up there as somebody who's cutting out down other servants that are trying to do their best, you're going to be low in the kingdom of God. You're going to be way down there, man. And I'm not saying that I don't ever criticize somebody. I'm saying that what these people do, it's their whole entire life, their career, to just fault find in every single person. They think that when you prophesy, right? Like I'm showing you data and information, but they think when somebody prophesies that they're wrong, then they're a totally false prophet, but that's not our dispensation. In 1 Corinthians 13, we know that in this dispensation, we prophesy in part, we know in part, we're supposed to prove all things, we're supposed to throw out that which is bad and hang on to that which is good, right? And this is what Paul says in Thessalonians, he says in 1 Corinthians 13 and other places, right? He says, prophecy shall fail, knowledge shall vanish away, but when that which is perfect shall come, then we will then we will know him as we are known. And that's the rapture. That's when it all goes down. So again, I'm showing you guys data and information, and if somebody wants to chastise me for getting something wrong, well, that's fine, but you're not seeing what I've been doing here for a couple of years, okay? I give information and data. I don't just say this is what I believe. I don't just say I had some dream, because you can't prove that, okay? But look, all these 45s in the Bible, Psalm chapter 45 is the royal wedding between Jesus and the church. And then Psalm 46, which is 20 plus 26, is Jacob's trouble. All these 45, Genesis chapter 45, there's a great deliverance, and they all go up to the Father's house and sup with him. All these 45s on a clock is 2025. The 4 is 20 minutes, the 5 is 25 minutes. 45 is the square root of 2025. 45 times 45 is 2025. Okay? All these 45s. Elijah, Enoch, Daniel, elect, Adam, Shem. Shem. Who's Shem? Shem is the Shemites, the Semites. Right? 45. All of it. All of it. It's this year, no doubt. No doubt. Okay? And yes, I believe it's the Feast of Trumpets in the next day or two. And here's another problem. There's a lot of people out there, man, that we have to be basically starving and dying for the rapture to happen. But that's not how the Bible lays this out. That is not how the Bible lays this out anywhere. It says before the rapture in Matthew 24 that they're going to be eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage. Just like the days of Noah. Was Noah and his family dying and in suffering and great tribulation? No, they weren't. They were preparing the ark. They were getting ready to leave. Just like the days of Lot. Well, just like the days of Sodom and Gomorrah and Lot. That's how the Bible likens these days. Was Lot suffering and dying and, all this? No. He was just living his life the best that he could until that day came, and that was it. This is a false imaginary thought. In 2 Peter chapter 3, when it talks about the mockers and the scoffers before the rapture, it says that they say, what are you guys talking about? Everything is going to go on just like it has been from the beginning. Everything seems to be normal before the rapture. Are there some people suffering in other countries and things like that? Yeah. There's always going to be some. But it's not going to be like that on a worldwide scale before the rapture. And in 2 Peter, excuse me. And in 2 Peter, okay? In 2 Peter, the people say that everything is going on since the beginning. So they're not in the Great Tribulation. They're not in the period of wrath. They're not in that. It's before the rapture. The word second coming equals 726. People think the second coming is at the very end when Jesus comes to earth and stays for 1,000 years. The second coming is what is going to happen this year, which is what we call the rapture. Second coming equals 726 in English gematria, okay? So, there's a lot of teachings out there. There's a lot of teachings out there that we've been told that are not true, that are just not true. They just, Christianity is run by the devil. All these people are run by the devil out there. And they're in it for the wrong reason. Now everything, even Enoch, look at Enoch equals 45, okay? We know what that number's all about. But look at this. Do you know what verses talk about Enoch and his rapture? Look at, man. Genesis, from the beginning. Genesis chapter 5. Okay, but watch this. What verses? Verses 23 and 24. What are the odds of that? What are the odds that Enoch's rapture is in verse 23? We know what that number's all about. And 24. Come on, man. Get real. And again, Genesis means beginnings. The number 5 is the number for grace. All right? And Enoch's name in English, in simple gematria, equals 45. That number's all about this year, no matter what. No matter what. No matter if it's in a day or two, or in a month or 2 or 3. I don't even care. I know for a fact it's this year. And look. Even you could break it down like that. 20 plus 25 is what? 45. On a clock, the 4 is 20 minutes. And the 5 is what? 25 minutes. When you take 45 times 45, what is it? 2025, because it's the square root of 2025. Dude, come on, man. I'll put everything down on it. Everything down. I know it's this year. It's no doubt. No doubt. Elijah, Elijah was raptured. He equals what? 45. Simple gematria. Daniel, he's all about the Antichrist and Jacob's trouble. And his name equals 45? Come on. Who's playing a trick on me, right? The word elect, the elect, equal what? 45. Yeah, right. Shem for the Shemites, the Semites, Shem equals what? 45. All in the same type of gematria. All simple gematria. All simple gematria. Come on, man. And then look at, check this out. You ain't even gonna believe this. Okay, I'm just gonna run with this right now. I'm gonna run right now. So if you take 144, first of all, let's go over to number 216. 216, all right? I'm just gonna run with you. This is a special number, okay? 216 is 9 times 24. September 24th, right? Guess what? 216. 216 is 6 times 6 times 6. 216. Well, look at, think about this. 924 is the Feast of Trumpets. The day that Adam was created. And what is the number of man? 666. 216, the day that Adam was created. 924. Are we seeing the connections here? Okay, now if you go 666 plus 666, it equals 1332. 1332, Mark 1332. No man knows the day or the hour, not the angels or the Son, only the Father in heaven. That's 666 plus 666. Mark 1332. Come on. Okay, now somebody help me out here, because the number 216, help me out here. Look at it. When you spell it out, 2, 1, 6. Guess what it equals? 144. 216, all this equals 144. And 216 and 144 are both 45s, right? On a clock. 144 is 45. 216 on the clock is 45 minutes. 216 equals that. Now watch this. Oh, man, come on, man. 1, 4. Look at this. You're not even going to believe this. The words 144, guess what it equals in English gematria? 924. I can't even make this up. 144, right? Equals 924. 924, 9 times 24. 216. Now watch this. 216 plus 144 equals, guess what? 360, a full circle, a full cycle. And this is all 924. 360. Because that's what the Bible is showing you. Tishrei means beginning. He's making a full circle, a full cycle. How is it that all these numbers are connected like this? There's just no way. Come on, right? And then, watch this. No, man, that's just the beginning. Watch this. I can't handle this stuff, man. Look at it. When you take 216, add it to its reflection, 612, you get 828. Add 828 one more time to its reflection, 828. Guess what you get? 1656. What is that? The year of Noah's flood. From 216, which is 9 times 24. Dude. Damn. Piece of crap. Hold on, let me make sure it's equal. Okay, look at it. Yes. Now watch this. From 216, you get to Noah's flood. Just add it to its reflection twice. 1656. What chapter and verse was Noah's flood in? It was in chapter 7 of Genesis, verse 11. Oh, that's when the flood began, right? That's when it talked. Bam! First mention right there. Well, look at this. The year that Noah's flood was in, 1 plus 6 is what? 7. 5 plus 6 is what? 11. Do you see that? 1 plus 6 is 7. 5 plus 6 is 11. Genesis 7:11 is when his flood begins. When does the Bible talk about Noah? Way in the New Testament. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 7. See that? Mirrors. What's 11 times 7? 77. You know what's 77? The word Christ equals 77 in simple gematria. Are we getting this? Are we getting all this? Okay? 7 is the number of divine completion. Tishri, the Feast of Trumpets coming up, is the first day of the 7th month. Okay? In the movie Pi, now watch this. In the movie Pi, dang, hard to speak and do all this at the same time. In the movie Pi, they talked about the number 216. And he talked about the golden spiral, the golden ratio. So he mentioned this, right? The golden spiral, the golden ratio, which is pi, right? Pi. P-I. Now look at this. Pi, P-I in simple gematria equals, guess what number? 25. This is the whirlwind. When Elijah was caught up in the whirlwind, that's what that represents. At the top of our head, we're connected by God. The whirlwind comes into the back of the head. That's why in the back of the head, you have a cowlick that goes in a circle like that. We all got that. In the back of the head, it goes a circle like that. The Native Americans talk about that because that's where your spirit comes in and out. That's where you're connected, right? So this is pi. And what is pi? Pi is 3.14. But it's the never-ending number. It's the everlasting number. So really what pi is a number that never ends. Get it? Everlasting life. Get it? Never-ending. The whirlwind. All right, going up. Okay, look, we got that, right? But here's the crazy thing. When you add pi 3.14, forget about the point for a second. 314 to its reflection, 413. Guess what number you get? You get 727. One off of 726. But if you look in the Strong's Concordance, 727 is from 726, and it's the word harpax, not harpazo, harpax. And guess what? It means the same thing almost. Comes from 726, means almost the exact same thing. And this is from the number 3.14 added to its reflection, 413. Even in the movie Pi, they tell you, in the movie Pi, they tell you, man, he tells you the Torah is a code from God. It's all numbers. That's what he said. In the movie Pi, he tells you the Torah is all numbers and it's a code from God. And it's true. It's 100,000,000% true. Okay? And this is the knowledge that has been hidden from us. But not in Judaism. Judaism knows these things. So let's go to Genesis 1, okay? Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, okay? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. In the Hebrew, I talked about all this. In the Hebrew, that equals 2701. 2007. Now, look, if you add 2 plus 70 plus 1, you get number 73, which is the numerical value for the word wisdom. Because God created everything through his wisdom. Proverbs 3:19. Okay, so you add it up, 22 plus 70 plus 1 is 73. But look at. Now watch that. Now watch this. 2701, oops, plus its reflection, 1072 is, guess what, watch this, 3773. You see the 77, you see the 33. Now look at this. 37 is the numerical value of God's wisdom in ordinal gematria. And 73 is the value of wisdom in standard gematria. So it's all standing for God's wisdom. And this is the very beginning. And if you do 37 times 73, guess where you come right back to this? 2701 equals 2701. Right back around. Get it? 360 degrees. A full circle to the beginning. Now, watch this. Now that you know that about 3773 and the first verse in the Bible, let's go to September 23rd. Right? September 23rd, 923. Okay? The end of time, the 23rd, the 24th, we got patterns on both of these. Look at 923 plus its reflection, 329 equals what? 1250. Is it 1 or 2? Is it 1 or 2? Shoot. Let me see. So, okay. Okay. 49, 52. Okay, there it is. 923 plus 329 is 1252. Add 1252 to its reflection once. 1252 plus 2521, its reflection. Guess what number you get? Guess. 3773. The end from the beginning. The end from the beginning. Where is this number found that we found for 923? 3773 is what? Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. The very beginning. 3773. There it is. The end from the beginning. This is the Feast of Trumpets. Feast of Trumpets, man. The day that God created Adam is the day that it's going to end. At least grace. You see that? 923, 3773. Which is found all over in Genesis 1:1. The end from the beginning. And then, when you take that number, that's a very special number. That's my buddy Jerry's number. When you take it, 37 plus 73, you get 110. Both Twin Towers were 110 stories. Both of them. Building 7 was 47 stories. Building 7, 47 stories. 7 times 47 is 329, which is 923 backwards. That was all a ritual on 9/11 to point to now. What's coming? And it's coming. I don't care. Just like the days of Noah, people don't even know what's coming. They got no clue. And whatever the harpazo is, whatever the rapture is, when we look at the ark, what did they do? They floated up. Oh, well, what's the rapture, right? You float up, right? Right. Okay? Same thing. Gonna float up above our problems here on earth. The great wrath of the dragon, the rat, all that stuff. The next 42 months. Now watch this. Hold on a second. Alright, this thing. Now watch this. You know where else that number is found in? I'm going to blow you guys away right now. Watch. 3773, right? Look at this. The last three, Jesus is coming back on a Shemitah year. Shemitah is a year of release, okay? Shemitah year is every 7 years, and it's the year of release. That's how God's calendar works. Every 7 years, just like 7,000 years, it's going to be 7 years, just like 7 days, 777 everywhere. Well, the last three Shemitahs is what we're looking at. 2015 was a Shemitah year. 2022 was a Shemitah year. And 2029 is the year of release, the Shemitah year when Jesus comes back. That's when he comes back. Don't let nobody lie to you, okay? Now watch what we're going to do here with these last 3 years. Last 3 Shemitah years. Years of release. 20 plus 15 is 35. Okay? 20 plus 22 is 42. 20 plus 29 is 49. Here's the calculation that I got by revelation. 35 plus 42 times 49. Guess what number you get? 3773. The end from the beginning, 2029 as well. You see, you find this number in 923 because this is going to end the dispensation of grace. And you find this number at the end of time when Christ comes back to earth, 2029. 3773. See that? It's amazing, right? That's amazing. But also, you know where you'll find that number? Not only in the last 3 Shemitah years. But Matthew 24:35. Matthew 24:35, the heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall never pass away. Right before the Feast of Trumpets verse. Matthew 24:36. You take 24:35, add it to its reflection. 5, 3, 4, 2. Sounds like a countdown, right? You get this number. Look at this number. 7, 7, 7, 7. 4 sevens. Number of completion, divine completion. You take this number from Matthew 24:35, 7, 7, 7, 7, and you do as such. 7 times 7 times 77. Guess what number you get? Equals 3773. The end from the beginning. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall never pass away. And then the very next verse is, no man knows the day or the hour, only the Father in heaven. See that? Now watch this. I got all kinds of tricks up my sleeve. Okay? Look at this. You go to the verse for the Feast of Trumpets verse. Matthew 24:36. Added to its reflection. 6342. You get the number 8778. Guess what? If you do a day count from 9/11/2001, 9/11/01, Twin Towers, 2/9/23/2025. Guess how many days is it? exactly 8,778 days. Which is Matthew 24:36, added to its reflection, 6342, 8778. Day count from Twin Towers to the Feast of Trumpets, 1903, 8778. It was all code. It's all code. God has shown me so much that it's undeniable. Everything is about 923 and 924, and we know that we're on the Julian calendar now. Right? Now there's amazing things about that I put in videos. Watch this. We know, excuse me. We know that from the Julian calendar that we are now looking at to, and actually the Julian calendar was when Jesus was around, by the way. The Julian calendar to the Gregorian that we are now on today, Gregorian, is exactly 13-day difference. Out of all the day differences, all the numbers it could have been, it's 13. The old 13, right? Now in English, the 13th letter is an M. Okay? But in Hebrew, it's actually called a mem. But they make the same thing. In Hebrew, it's called a mem, the 13th letter. In English, it's called an M. Right? You see the how they're the same close. They're very closely related, right? Now, the fact that it's 13 days and the 13th letter is a mem in Hebrew is absolutely supernatural. You know why? Because what is the mem? In modern Hebrew, the picture for a mem is a little house. It's a little house just like this. Okay? It's a little tent. And it's amazing because Tabernacles is coming up, and that will be the 13th day from the true Feast of Trumpets. And, get it in the house of God, templing with God, tabernacling with God, and the tent. And this is a small picture of the larger picture when you understand true biblical cosmology, flat earth, that it says the earth is covered as a tent with the firmament for us to dwell in. So the mem in modern Hebrew is that picture right there. Tabernacles. tabernacling with God in the little tent house thing, right? Well, that's amazing. Do you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because in the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient original Hebrew, the mem, is this symbol. And it stands for water and chaos. Flood. Flooding. The mem is flooding, and it's the 13th letter. And it's also a tabernacle. Come on. You all getting the picture here? It's a dead giveaway, man. Dead giveaway. Paleo Hebrew means water and chaos. And in modern Hebrew, it's a little house. Looks like it's the house of God, tabernacling with God. It don't get no perfect than that. And get this. The mem in standard Hebrew, its value is 40. What a number, what a number, what a number. You know why? It's all about the 40, which is the number 8. I just realized that. The number 40 is the number 8 on a clock. Get it? 8 people got on the ark. 8 means new beginnings. The mem is 8. See that? And it's 40. You see, we get that? Oh, yeah. Okay. How many jubilees from Jesus to now? 40 jubilees, which is 2,000 years. And 40 on a clock is the number 8. And 8 people got on the ark. 8 means new beginnings. It's 8 years from the Revelation 12 sign to now. The man-child is circumcised when? The 8th day. And the 8 is symbolic for eternity. Right? That's the symbol for eternity as well, because it just keeps going. Just like that, right? Just like an hourglass. Ha! You can't, who makes this up? This ain't me. I'm just showing you what God did, not me. What are the odds of all this? No way, right? No way. And some of my favorite calculations that I've shown in the past, we know that God declares the end from the beginning. Well, the book of Genesis means beginning, and it has 1,533. It has exactly 1,533 verses. Okay? 1,533 verses. Well, God declares the end from the beginning because look at this. 1 times 5 times 3 times 3 equals, guess what number? Oh dear. Oh dear, number 45. We went over what that number is, right? But that ain't it. Because you get even better results when you multiply it twice. 1 times 5 times 3 times 3. Do it again. Times 1 times 5 times 3 times 3 equals, guess what number when you multiply them twice? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hey, you can't fight that. You can't fight it. It's over. 2025. It's all over with. Book of Genesis has 1,533 verses. 1 times 5 times 3 times 3 is 45. That's all about 2025. Do it twice. 1 times 5 times 3 times 3 times 1 times 5 times 3 times 3. It's 2025. Forget about it. We're out of here. We're out of here this year. What day? I think it's the new moon coming in a couple days. The Feast of Trumpets, the full moon. Could I be wrong? I could be wrong. But I know it's this year. I know for a fact. I know for a fact. Now watch this. That ain't it. That ain't it. Not only does that declare the end, so does Adam's name, because his name equals 45. Adam was the beginning. 45 times 45 is 2025. But look at this. So just remember this. Every single 45 declares the end, 2025. But let's see about this. Noah's Ark was 300 by 50 by 30 cubits. That's the dimensions of it. Noah's Ark. Get it? The man, water, chaos. The dragon cast a flood out of his mouth after the man-child is caught up. Okay? That's the dimensions of his ark. So if you're fruitful and multiply, 300 times 50 times 30, but we got to do it twice to get the best results, times 300 times 50 times 30. Guess what number you get? 2025. With guess how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2025 with 8 zeros from the dimensions of Noah's Ark when you multiply them twice. Why? Because this is a year. You better be ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to get out of this place? I'm so ready. Look at it. Look at it. Noah's Ark. It's over. It's so over. Now watch this. That ain't it. That ain't it, because it gets even better. It gets even better. Oh, it gets even better. Look at this. The number 4 Rapture Harpazo. 726. We all know that number, right? That's the number exactly from Adam's death to Noah's Ark. 726 years. And Adam is 45, which is 2025. Watch this. First, if you add it to its reflection, 627. Add it to its reflection, you get the number 15. Wait, no. You get the number 1353. That's right. 1353. Look at that number. You know what that number is in the Strong's Concordance? Redemption. Redemption. Get it? Rapture. Well, guess what? 924 plus its reflection, 429, is guess what? The exact same number, 1353. Redemption. Do you guys see that? The number for Harpazo Rapture 726 added to its reflection is 1353. You could do the same thing with 924. 924 plus its reflection, 429, is the exact same number, 1353. And it means redemption. Redeemed. Redemption. The day of our redemption. But it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. Because this number 1353, multiply it. 1 times 3 times 5 times 3. Guess what it equals? 45. 45. And then what happens when you multiply it twice? 1 times 3 times 5 times 3. Do it again. Times 1 times 3 times 5 times 3 equals, guess what? 2025. It's over. It's done with. I'll put my life on the Rapture this year. I already know it. I'll put everything I own on the Rapture this year. But I don't own anything. I own an electric scooter and a crappy guitar. You want it? If the Rapture doesn't happen, go ahead. But the Rapture's going to happen. I shouldn't even speak like that. Because it's non-negotiable. It's going to happen 1,000,000% this year. Now watch this. That's not it. Because you know where else that number is found? That number is also found in Daniel 12:12. Daniel 12:12. You see the 144, 12 times 12, 144, 12 plus 12, 24, 24 hours in a day, 24 elders in Revelation. Hold on. Okay. It's also here. Daniel 12. Oh, hold on. I gotta fix this. Okay. Daniel 12:12 says, "Blessed is he who waits," we're waiting, "and comes to the 1335 days." Well, there's those numbers again. 1, 3, 5, 3, just in a different order. And when you multiply them, it doesn't matter. It all comes out the same. 1 times 3 times 3 times 5 equals that number, 45 again. Do it twice. 1 times 3 times 3 times 5. Do it again. Times 1 times 3 times 3 times 5. Guess what? It equals 2025 again. It's over. It's done with. It's done. It's over. The rapture is this year. Okay? No doubt. You know how many years it is from the Dome of the Rock exactly to now, 2025? Exactly 1,335 years. From the Dome of the Rock, that big gold dome, to this year, 1,335 years. This is the year. This is it. It's going to happen. There's no doubt. No doubt. So I'm just sharing some of the revelations over the years that I've had with you guys. There's so much more. New moon that we know is the full moon now. New moon equals 99 in simple gematria. The word rapture in simple gematria, the exact same kind of gematria, equals 99. And now we know the new moon is the full moon. Isn't that... It's like mind-blowing. It's like mind-boggling. I mean, how can these things be? Now look at, what's the 9 on the clock? 45 minutes. Well, you don't have one 9, you have two 9s. Look at rapture equals 99. So you have 145 minutes and another 45 minutes. 45 times 45 is what? 2025. It's all code. All of it. You guys see that? Rapture equals 99. That means that the R is the 18th letter. The A is the first letter. The P, or A, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P is the 16th letter. The T is the 19th. The U, and so on. It's according to letter position. That's simple gematria. The most foundational basic gematria there is. Simple gematria. Rapture equals 99. New moon equals 99. If you take it to a clock, the 9 is 45 minutes. But you have two 45 minutes. 45 times 45 is 2025. It's everywhere. Yeah, it's literally everywhere in everything. But numbers. It's the numbers. It's the time. It's the numbers. What don't they teach Christians? Numbers. It's all about the numbers. You want to know what time it is? You have to look at numbers. Everything has a numerical value. Everything. Everything has a numerical value. Every word in the Bible. Everything. So I've shown you guys a little bit of revelation for you to know. For you to know what time it is. Okay? Because it is definitely time to go. It is time to go this year. And that's just how it is, man. So thank you guys for joining me. I had a good time showing you some revelations. There's so much more. And we're here. The rapture is this year. Most likely in the next day or two at the Feast of Trumpets at the new moon. And if not, I don't care that much because I know it's this year. And that's what I've been proving for months and months and even years. 2025 is the year, no doubt. Just make it just last. Endure this year, whenever it is, whenever the rapture is, and you're good. Forget about it. Just make sure you're saved. What is the gospel? Thank you guys. The time has come. 1,000,000%. Get ready, people. Just like End Time says, look at what is the gospel? This is the gospel. This right here. You can't work for it. Can't earn salvation. You're saved by grace through faith. Faith in what? We all know it, right? That Jesus Christ, God, came in as a man to redeem man. Okay? Redeem, the day of redemption. Get it? And he died for our sins according to the scriptures. He was buried and in 3 days he rose from the dead according to the scriptures. So all your sin, all of it was put on Christ, Jesus Christ. And he was punished and he was tortured. He took the punishment that we were supposed to get. He died in the flesh only, not in the spirit. The Bible covers that he went in the spirit. He was preaching to the disobedient spirits from the days of Noah and the heart of the earth. He didn't die in the spirit, he died in the flesh. And in 3 days he rose from the grave. And that is the heart of the gospel. That is the heart of the gospel. So by faith, you're saved. By grace through faith, you're saved. Just by believing, trusting, knowing that you're a sinner, that you don't deserve heaven, and believe. And then it says in the Bible, one verse, anybody naming the name of Christ, depart from iniquity, immediately stop doing bad things, whatever that is. That's what Paul says. Not to be saved, but because you are saved. Because now you're a son of God. You're a child of God. And what do children of God do? They're supposed to try to do what's right all the time. All the time. Try to do what's right. You can't do what's right all the time, but you have to try. That's what the Bible says. Not to earn your salvation, but because of your salvation. Because who you are. And just like a gang. Just like a gang. If you're going to claim that you're in a gang, you have to show that you're in that gang. Well, it's similar, right? If Romans chapter 8 says, those that are led by the Spirit of God are the sons of God. You have to be led by the Spirit of God. You have to know that you're saved. You have to know that you're saved because of what Jesus did for you. And once you fully trust that, then turn from whatever bad things that you're doing. That's what you're supposed to do as a child of God. That's the gospel in itself. And the more truth that you know, the longer that you're saved, the tougher it'll be. But that's kind of a good thing. Because if it's kind of tough, if it's tough, then that means that's a good sign, because now you know that there's a battle going on, that there's a struggle between the old you and the new you. Because when you're saved, the Bible says that you become a new creature in Christ, that you've been regenerated, renewed, and you have the Spirit of God inside of you. Now, there should be a struggle. See, Christianity is backwards too, because they tell you, well, once you get saved, everything is beautiful. Now, it didn't work like that for me. I lost a lot, man. You know, and one thing that I did lose is my old life, and it took a long time though for me. But God changed me to where, like, I don't want to do those things anymore. I got better things to do. I got better things to do than sitting around and getting drunk in a bar and then watching a fight or getting in a fight and then, you know, possibly going home with somebody that I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff, eventually, you know, it took a long time, but eventually I figured I got better things to do right now. I got things that are worth something now. All that is that's the works of the flesh. It's all going to be X'd out, F-dist. You know, when you delete everything on a computer, it's going to be F-dist. It means nothing to God. All that is downtime. It's like you're on the bench when you're doing that stuff, sitting in bars and trying to get a one-night stand and seeing how much you can drink. And all the things that I used to do is just a waste of time to me now. And I'm not judging people harshly for doing that. I'm just saying, to me now, especially the times that we're in, that's all downtime to me. That's all a waste of time to me. I'm not accomplishing anything in that sense. And I'm not when I'm doing that stuff, I'm not letting God work with me, work in me, show me more things. I could be looking into things in the internet. I could be opening the Bible. I could be just sitting there meditating, letting God reveal things to me. Anything besides, you know, and it goes for like weed and other drugs too. Anything besides inebriating my mind and then, you know, just sitting there and wasting time, you know, checking out, looking for pleasures of the flesh and that in that sense too. You know what I mean? I used to do all that stuff and it was a good time at the time, but not now. It wouldn't even be a good time to me now, because I would feel like this is not me anymore, you know? I mean, I like hanging out with friends when I get a chance, or family and stuff, but not sitting in a bar drinking, looking for a one-night stand and looking to go get a new tattoo. I just don't do those things anymore. I have better things to do now. And that's the regeneration. That's the new creature in Christ. God gives you, when you're changed, he'll give you the desires of your heart. But not when you're not changed. Then when you get the desires of your heart, like some one night stand, that's you're getting the desires of your heart from the devil. That's not from God. When you get a good deal on a big bag of drugs, you're getting the desires of your heart, which is not changed. Apparently, I'm not judging everybody, but at that moment, you're getting blessed from the devil, man. You know, and I'm not talking about people who have uh, disabilities and things like this and stuff that might use some type of drug. I don't know. I don't know everybody's situation. All I'm saying is that all that stuff is not God giving you the desires of your heart. He gives you the desires of your heart when your heart wants what his heart wants. Just like the Bible says, David was a man that seeked after God's own heart. And so then God will give you the desires of your heart. But if you're just desiring to be rich and famous and all kinds of things, that when you get it, that's not God. That's the God of this world, which is the devil in the Bible. That's who's blessing you. And see, a lot of times people get confused because people like, man, I'm doing so good. I got hundreds of thousands of dollars saved. I got all these things that I wanted. I'm being blessed by God. Well, I'm not saying that that's not always the case, but a lot of cases, you're not being blessed by God. Sometimes it's the devil. God understands that we need money. He understands that we need things, right? But you have to be careful to know where these blessings are coming from, right? So, anyways, I don't preach too much to people like that. I don't get too personal involved in what people are doing in their own every personal sin that people need to turn from. All I'm saying is, in a general sense, what the Bible says is that those who name the name of Christ depart from iniquity. And iniquity is bad things. That's what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to get all into everybody's situation. That is the gospel. You trusted Christ already. If you believed on him, if you realize that you're a sinner, right? Then now that you're saved, that the Spirit of God is with you, then try to do, just in simplistic terms, just try to do the right thing. You know what I mean? And we all have to figure that out, what that means. Because for me, for years, I didn't think it was a bad thing to go drink in bars every now and then, right? I didn't think, well, I'm okay. But then I just started being revealed to me, even though you're not getting drunk, you're in a place where you shouldn't even be, in a bar, right? So it took me years. I'm gonna be honest, it took me years to figure this out. Because at first I was like, well, I could go to the bar but not get drunk, right? And I can go have a couple drinks, but as long as I don't get drunk and do other things, I'll be all right. But then eventually I started thinking to myself, I don't even belong here. This is not even a place for me. This whole setting is not a place for me. So it's a learning process, you know? But anyways, thank you guys all for listening. I hope to see you all in the next existence. God bless you. I'm going to look at some of these comments. It's a relationship, not a religion. Absolutely 100%. 100%. Thank you guys. Look at, there's a fake account of me right there. Look at that. NewMoonRapture, amazing time. Look at fake account, fake account. Report him, report him. You see that? Somebody made a fake account. They're commenting right there. Report him. Somebody report him. So, got a lot of fake accounts out there. A lot of fake accounts. He probably left the room. Shame on you for making a fake account, whoever you are. God's going to deal with you one way or the other. Good. Thank you. Report him. Report him. Report them all. God bless you guys. If people are asking for money in my account, make sure to look at the account name. Because sometimes they'll put like a little extra letter, like two N's or two E's or a dash or something like that. It's not me. I'm not going to ask you for money for like Uganda or something like that. And I don't go around personally asking anybody for money, but I do put my Cash App up sometimes because people ask me, well, can I donate? And I'm like, well, yeah, if you want. But that's all that, there it goes. Yeah, 45. It's all about 45. Hills of California, a few months, and I feel like a new man. Thank God for showing me the real way of living. Absolutely, man. Gotta get away from all that stuff. Heck yeah. Thank you guys. Looking at the comments. That's right. We will not need money very soon. Very soon, we will not need money at all. Thank you for reporting him. Thank you so much for reporting him. Very nasty people out there doing stuff like that. Very soon. Hey, that account right there. Explain to me what you mean. The 1657 and the 726 and the Typhoon or something. I still don't get what you're saying. Yeah, October 6th and 7th. Very, very possible. Very, very possible rapture in the next day or two. But I know it's this year. I know for a fact it's this year. Somebody's saying the real Day of Atonement is October 16th to the 18th. I'd have to look into that. I'm not sure. I'm not worried about it. I believe that the rapture is going to happen on a full moon because a full moon is a new moon, and new moon and rapture have the exact same value, 99. And 99 on a clock is 45 and 45 minutes, and that's 2025. 45 times 45. 45. There's a new moon rapture or new man rapture. See? Look, he said new man rapture. That's what it is, new man rapture. And he took my icon. Looks like a fake account to me. New man rapture. And then he took my icon. Looks like a fake account to me, man. Jeez. Hey, who's that? Shadow Moses. Thanks for saying hey. Oh, it's going to be this year. No doubt. You got to watch the video. It's no doubt this year. I don't have any doubt. All right, thank you guys. I'm out of here.